Hello everyone, today we will be breaking down the promo pictures for episode 10 of House of the Dragon, but before that remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada. Let's get to it. The first photo we see is of Rhaenys Targaryen. After she escaped King's Landing, she went to Dragonstone, the ancestral seat of House Targaryen, to bring news to Rhaenyra and Daemon that Viserys has died, and instead of contacting Rhaenyra, they have crowned her half-brother Aegon as king. I really like Rhaenys' armor in this shot. It looks like it has dragon scales on it, which is a nice little detail. I really like how her armor looks different from what we saw Daemon wear earlier in the season. Like, it's unique to her. And honestly, all the armor in the show looks amazing. Props to the designers. In the next shot, we see Daemon standing face to face with Vermithor. Vermithor is the second largest dragon we will see in the show, that is not including the wild dragons that live on Dragonstone. Vermithor is currently riderless. The old King Jaehaerys was its only rider, so the dragon has been riderless for about 30 years. In the preview trailer, we see Daemon singing a song to it in High Valyrian. Now, I'm not sure what is going on here. Daemon already has a dragon, Caraxes. I've seen some people suggest that Daemon is trying to claim Vermithor for himself, which I suppose does make sense. Vermithor is a lot bigger than Caraxes, but this would change some things from the book. But I honestly can't think of any other reason why Daemon would be singing a song to Vermithor. I would think having a dragon that you are super familiar with would make more sense rather than a dragon who just happens to be bigger, but who knows, I guess we'll find out Sunday. In the next shot, we have Baela, who is engaged to Jaehaerys, and Lucerys, who is engaged to Rhaena. They are standing over the painted table. So right now, Rhaenyra and her council are setting up their plans, what great houses will back them in this war. Because if they are going to defeat the Hightowers, they will need powerful allies. In the preview trailer, we know Jaehaerys suggests sending them as envoys to the great houses, which does make sense. Sending a prince or princess to a lord shows more respect than just some normal servant. They can also get there a lot faster since they can be on Dragonback. Jaehaerys will be sent to Winterfell, which is the seat of House Stark. The Starks can gather quite the force. In Game of Thrones, I believe Robb Stark rode with 20,000 Northmen. So to get them to join their cause would be very helpful in the war effort. The only problem with the Starks is that it takes them a while to gather their force because of how big the North is, so they aren't going to be the first in battle. Lucerys is being sent to Storm's End, which is the seat of House Baratheon. Rhaenyra sends her younger son there because it is closer. Lucerys' dragon Arax is on the younger side, so he wouldn't be able to get to Winterfell as quickly as his brother on his dragon Vermax. Also, convincing the Starks is going to be a bit more challenging, at least in Rhaenyra's eyes, than the Baratheons. Rhaenys, who is on Rhaenyra's side, is half Baratheon, her mother being one, so Rhaenyra probably assumes that the Baratheons will join them because of this. In the next shot, we see Lucerys and Rhaenyra having a moment together. This is probably right before Lucerys is going to leave for Storm's End. I'm sure the lad is either too young and dumb to be scared, or is scared of heading that way, since Storm's End is relatively close to King's Landing, so running into one of his uncles is far more likely. Also, if Rhaenyra and her council are having talks about getting the backing of the great houses, you know the Hightowers are doing the same. In the next shot, we see Borys Baratheon at Storm's End. He is the Lord of the Keep. Earlier in the season, we saw his father Bormund Baratheon, who was helping Rhaenyra choose a husband in episode 4. Bormund has passed though, and Borys is now the head of the house. We see that Lucerys has arrived at the castle as well, to try and get Borys to declare for Rhaenyra. But we see that Borys has another guest as well, Aemon Targaryen, Lucerys' uncle, and he wants Borys to back his family instead. From the preview trailer, we know Lucerys leaves Storm's End in quite a hurry, running to his dragon Arax, even though there is a crazy thunderstorm happening. The only reason why Lucerys would leave Storm's End during this is that Borys Baratheon has declared for the Greens, which means staying at Storm's End could be dangerous for him. Also, Aemond, his uncle, has no love for him. Lucerys is the one who blinded him when he was a child. We also know from the preview trailer that Aemond rode Vhagar to Storm's End, which is the biggest dragon we will see in the show. So there may be a chance of us seeing Aemond chase Lucerys down. The only advantage Lucerys has is that Arrax is much smaller and quicker than Vhagar, so he could maybe hide. In the next shot, we see Sir Eric Cargill. He is giving Rhaenyra the crown her father Viserys wore. Sir Eric is the one who helped Rhaenys escape King's Landing last episode. He left the Hightower's side because he did not believe Aegon was worthy of being king. Aegon is wearing the original crown that Aegon the Conqueror wore when he was king. Sir Eric has a twin brother, Sir Arik, who is also on the Kingsguard, but he is on the side of the Greens. The Greens is what they call Alicent's group, and the Blacks is what they call Rhaenyra's group. So we may see some brother versus brother at some point in the show. In the next shot, we see Jace and Daemon having a talk. My guess is this will be right before Jace takes off to Winterfell. I'm curious what the relationship is like. In episode 8, it does seem that Jace listens to Daemon, his stepfather, but I'm wondering if Daemon took him under his wing, showed him how to be a proper swordsman and whatnot. In the next shot, we have 3 newish characters, kind of. From the left, we have Sir Laurent Marbrand, who, if you can't tell by his armor, is part of the Kingsguard, or Queen's Guard for that matter. In the middle, we have Maester Gerardus? That's probably not how you pronounce it, I apologize. And to the right of him is Lord Bartimus Celtigar. We will see the 3 throughout the series. They are part of Rhaenyra's council, giving advice and whatnot. House Celtigar, like the Velaryons and Targaryens, can trace back their roots to Old Valyria, though not nearly as famous as those houses. In the next shot, we see Rhaenyra and Daemon having a conversation. From the preview trailer, we know Rhaenyra might be having second thoughts about going to war. Daemon, on the other hand, wants all that smoke. He tells Rhaenyra how the Greens stole her birthright and that this cannot stand. Rhaenyra knows that if they go to war with the Greens, a lot of blood will be shed. People will die on their side and hers. Is sitting on the Iron Throne worth all that blood? She probably also thinks back to her father Viserys. Viserys wanted more than anything for his family to get along. It was basically the last thing he said to all of them before he left the dinner and passed away. If she goes to war, she is doing the opposite of what her father would have wanted. Daemon thinks differently about this. Viserys named Rhaenyra heir. The throne is hers by right. He does not want to see the throne stolen from her. So he wants to set things right and follow the succession plan of his brother. In the next still, we see Rhaenyra. The only reason I point this out is that all the other stills from this episode, she seems to have a belly because she is pregnant. But in this shot, I don't see the belly as well. Could this mean something bad has happened to the unborn child, or does the dress just fit better? Once again, probably find out Sunday. In the last set of stills, we see Otto Hightower on Dragonstone meeting Daemon on the catwalk bridge thing. This is very reminiscent of episode 2. Otto is bringing terms to Daemon and Rhaenyra. Probably something along the lines of, if you surrender, you can keep Dragonstone. That there does not need to be any bloodshed, just proclaim Aegon as king. This is Alicent Hightower's work. She wanted to try and do this peacefully. If you recall from last episode, Otto wanted to have Rhaenyra and her whole group killed. But as you can see, Otto did not get his wish. He is following his daughter's plan. We see that the Cargill brothers are both on the bridge as well, staring at one another. I'm very curious if we will see the two talk to one another here or not. Daemon really hates Otto, so these terms of surrender are probably not going to work. From the preview trailer, we know Rhaenyra arrives on Syrax to meet with Otto as well. Very reminiscent of episode 2. And Daemon draws his sword during this, so something set the rogue prince off. I would guess it has to do with the terms. So this episode is going to be quite the eventful one, and the Dance of the Dragons, the Targaryen Civil War, will truly begin. So are you excited for episode 10? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more House of the Dragon content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.